everyone. Welcome to my weekly message. So this week we continue to work on our website. There has been significant damage, and frankly, it may take a while to fix it. So thank you for your patience. Purchase functionality should be working okay in case you need something, and you can always give us a call at the office. Later this week, we're going to be highlighting a gemstone that can be used to support the health of the bladder and the kidneys. And so it's a great tool for supporting energetic healing of UTIs. So look for that. If you'd like to find out which gemstone that is, sign up for our weekly Healing Gemstone News, the weekly email newsletters that we send. And there should be a link below or in our profile to sign up for our newsletters. But today I'd like to address a serious question. The answer can get me a little riled up because I feel passionately about it. Well, first, let me read you the question. So this person is from the Caribbean, and they write, well, they always watch the videos, so thank you for that. I want to know why some people in YouTube are stating that crystals are an occult practice, which is not of God. However, crystals were mentioned in Exodus and in Revelations in the Bible. So can you explain this to me, please? Yes. Crystals, they come from the earth and are made inside the earth to help the earth to maintain, sustain, and heal itself. So if God made earth, then God also made crystals. And so they are inherently neutral. It's how people use them that makes them an occult tool or a true healing tool. So I teach people how to use healing crystals in sphere form for healing, uplifting, and vitalizing purposes. I teach permission-based sessions that 100% respect the sanctity and sovereignty of both the clients and the gemstones, as well as the practitioner. And I really don't like to focus on the negative, but it sounds like people need to hear how crystals can be misused so they can know what to watch out for. And before I say anything, I realize there are many people who do use crystals in these ways, and they simply don't know any better. They don't know the ramifications. They don't understand. They were taught by people who also didn't know any better. So I can't criticize them for just not knowing. And I'm sure they would stop certain practices right away if they only knew, because these are good people who sincerely want to help others. I absolutely know this. So the number one way to misuse the crystal is to program it to do something either for yourself or especially for someone else, such as a client in a session. Now, the first problem with programming crystals is that it ignores the sovereignty of the crystal. Crystals, they have their own intelligence, they have their own consciousness and their own gifts. They are sovereign beings. So why is programming crystals a problem? Well, let's look at it from the crystal's perspective. A crystal has certain properties and abilities and benefits and ways that it works with energy that's unique to each type of crystal. Not every healing crystal can be expected to do everything. Certain ones do best in certain situations. So simplistically speaking, some gemstones are cooling, others are warming, some are drying, while others are moistening. Some support energy to rise up in the body, others to lower it, and on and on. So these are the inherent properties of each crystal. Imagine if someone asked you to do something you didn't know how to do, or to heal someone in ways which you weren't trained. That's the predicament certain crystals have when they are programmed. When you program a crystal, you are not respecting its inherent healing abilities. You're telling it to do something it may not be designed to do. And this is where crystal healing borders on the occult. It is unethical to impart a sentient being with instructions to do something, especially if it's outside its nature, especially when you don't understand its nature. Now, I have worked with healing gemstone spheres for decades, and I have never, ever programmed them. I don't have to, because, number one, I have learned how to match the right gemstone with certain needs the client has. And by the way, there are ways to do this without having to learn tons of knowledge about each gemstone. And two, the gemstones know what to do, and they know it far better than I do. The gemstones know my clients better than I ever could. Have you ever seen a therapy dog at work? It's really amazing. These dogs know just who to go to, how long to spend with them, and they're born with this ability. I believe some dogs are taught, but the true therapy dog, they just know. They don't have to be told what to do. If you program crystals, you aren't recognizing their inherent properties and abilities and energetic nature. Healing crystals don't need to be told what to do. Even programming a crystal to heal someone may not be in that person's best interest. I know I've told this story before, but it bears repeating. How many people back in 2004 and 2005 told me outright they were praying for me that I wouldn't have to have a heart transplant. Yet had they gotten their wish, had their prayers been answered, if I did not get a heart transplant, I would not be alive right now because that heart transplant saved my life. Plus, having gone through it has been tremendously healing for me on so many levels. So we cannot know what is in another person's best interest. So programming crystals is one way to misuse them. And if you don't agree with me, if your method is to program crystals, then please remove these instructions when you're done. Not removing those instructions is another way to misuse crystals. So usually healers will program a crystal to do something, but never remove the program from the crystal. So the crystal carries that program to infinity. So it will affect the next person that crystal is asked to work with. And I feel this is downright dangerous. Because let's say the type of treatment one person needs would be harmful to the next person. In a really, really simple example, let's say one person needs balancing by removing excess moisture in the body. And for them to find that balance, they need that excess moisture cleared. But if the next person is dehydrated, healing them would require adding moisture. So a crystal program to balance a person with excess moisture could be harmful to the person who's dehydrated. Now, I realize that example is super simplistic, but I hope you understand the concept. What we ask a crystal to do for one person can be harmful to someone else. It can be very hard to clear someone else's programming from healing crystals. I know because I've had to do this for people who buy crystals from sources who program the crystals before they're even sold. It's so sad. A crystal vendor who feels they need to program their crystals to heal obviously doesn't believe in the inherent healing nature of the crystals or their wisdom. A third way to misuse crystals is to send their energies to someone, either with or without their permission, but obviously without their permission or knowledge is definitely an occult practice with a heavy karmic price tag for the sender. This is true even during a healing session. There are dangers to sending light, and especially sending crystal energy to a person just because of the nature of the crystalline matrix, the way a crystal can hold light. And when you use crystal energy to send light, you're sending it with the power and the structure inherent in that crystal. So it is more dangerous to send light using a crystal than to just send light on your own. Let's say it like that. It can be damaging, and it disrespects the integrity of the client's aura, no matter how you send that light, no matter how. At the Gemstone Therapy Institute, students are taught not to send the energies of healing gemstones to their clients, but rather to bring these energies into the session space, because only in this way can the client absorb however much of that crystal energy that they need, no more and no less. So this practice respects the client's boundaries, the client's integrity, and their sovereignty. It respects the ability of their own intelligence centers to accept the gemstone healing energy and then deliver it wherever it is needed and the amounts that are needed. Excuse me. So we do not send crystal energy to anyone. I feel that it's like force feeding, which is an absolute violation of personal space. Sorry, I just get so riled up here. So to answer your question directly, yes, crystals can be used in harmful, negative ways, but they can also be used in ethical, harmonious, and uplifting ways. The choice is in the heart of the crystal healer. So best wishes on your journey to greater health. Thank you for the question, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.